Watch them win.
All right, I'm done with you, Pete.
West, East, or South?
We're gonna go over to.
Did you know you heard it from
We're
here?
gonna
from
go
here-
over to the
from me
East.
first.
All right,
Okay.
we're going
lit.
You want to introduce this, Ant? Go ahead.
I love the
Introduce
East.
that first game.
First game is
That 8-4 matchup.
Yeah, the NC State versus Louisville. Not happy. I didn't have either of those teams there.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't have Louisville just because they lost. What's his name? Their shooting guard.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Right before the tournament, the ACC tournament, they had to get rid of him because of some like sexual assault charge or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
They lost.
Yeah, there was
he
a lot
like
of
their second leading
controversy.
score or something like that. So I was like, I had LSU beating them because I thought LSU was doing good and going into the tournament, and then I had UNI. that really bummed me out.
I had I thought Villanova was gonna be you had LSU beating Villanova.
I had UNI being Nova.
I had Villanova being
No,
NC
I had
State.
Nova going to the here.
So did I. I had Nova NC State. But we're now left with NC State and Louisville, and
I'll go NC State.
I'm going NC
They're
State.
hot right now.
Yeah.
oh wow, I
And
didn't see
they're
that coming.
the favorite.
But
They're the favorites too.
I like NC State. Louisville hasn't been beating the good teams that they played in the ACC. They really struggled.
They beat Duke and Virginia, right?
But
And UNC.
I don't believe so. I could, unless I'm very, very wrong. But I believe that they struggled this year when they were playing the better teams. You can tell me if I'm wrong because I could be. We're all.
I had
human.
Northern Iowa in my Elite Eight.
Honestly, I don't think that's bad. I think I had Northern Iowa beating them too. Villanova.
But then I had them losing to Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so.
Thank you.
But I like NC State. I think that they're very, very, a good basketball team with a lot around them right now. And in my personal opinion, I think they had the most impressive victory this tournament. Villanova won their first game by 40 points. Villanova dominated. I don't care if it was against a 16 seed. No other one seed did that. And NC State comes out and they beat them nicely. They beat them
By 3.
I mean, but that was with the late free throws, a late shot. Like I felt NC State that game was in control. Towards those last couple minutes, I felt like NC State was in control. And
No, because when Villanova would make a comeback, they would just make their 3 or whatever. That's the worst.
and in all honesty, I don't love this Louisville team. I really don't.
No, I love Harrell the way he plays.
Haswell, yeah, he's a beast, he's a monster.
But they did beat Virginia and UNC once. They lost to Duke. I was wrong.
Okay. How'd they do against Notre Dame?
Lost.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I'm just that's my pick's NC State. Joe, little quiet today. It's very odd. Never heard you quiet when it comes to sports. I guess because we didn't bring up the NFL stuff yet. But when we get there, I'm sure it'll be normal Joe Janis time.
No, I got Louisville.
Okay.
Not because of the players. Because of Rick Pitino.
No.
That's why.
We know why he's picking.
How do you look with your hair slicked back?
No, honestly, I'm telling you the truth. That's why.
And you know what? I can't blame you at all. I really can't.
Because he knows what it takes to win. So, I mean, even if they're not playing good, I mean, Louisville is a good team. I mean, they got number 4 for a reason.
Of course.
And they beat teams. They beat UNC, right? They beat
Virginia, you said.
Virginia. Yeah, so they beat teams. They proved that they could beat teams. And, I mean, I think Rick Pitino's just going to, I don't know, he's going to maybe have the guys in the right mindset. He knows how to coach these games, and he's going to do it.
I think.
It's not like,
No,
like NC State, though. Like, they beat Villanova, but NC State, they weren't, like, crazy good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, NC State's in the ACC, though. They had some good wins themselves.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I think they beat Duke. And could you...
What?
NC State, who did they have their big wins against on the ACC? Well, they might have beat Notre Dame was one of them.
wait, they played each other.
Yeah, they play, because they're in the ACC.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd that matchup go? Regular season.
Who's this?
They beat Duke.
They did beat Duke, NC State, right?
NC State beat Louisville, too.
What was that score?
They beat UNC once.
74-65. Yeah, but I'm still going.
No, yeah, and I'll make this point, and you guys tell me if you agree or not. I think coaches matter a lot more on the collegiate level. Compared to the NBA.
basketball.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
they're so much more important.
You
You're
got people leaving every
you're
4
constantly
years.
getting the new teams.
Yeah, exactly.
The youngsters. I mean, you even look at a Kentucky. If you're a sophomore, you're a veteran. The Harrison twins are looked as veterans. You mean you look at Michigan State, Trice and Valentine are seniors, and that's a veteran.
It's hard. It's hard for like Calipari. Like even though like he recruits the best guys from high school, they still got to have the chemistry and they still got to know like how to play with each other, and he does it every year. So
And then the violations and the sanctions come out.
You think that's gonna happen? A lot of people, you know.
I really do.
hey, what are you talking about?
Well, all right, you look at it, and it feels like, every year, every other year, a big-time coach gets caught with sanction for cheating. Boeheim this year, I think it was either last year or 2 years ago with Calhoun, and, Calipari keeps pulling in the best class
And if
year
you
in
look
and
at it,
year
like
out.
every time Calipari leaves a school, there's always violations and all that stuff. So, I mean, if he's pulling the best of the best, I think there's got to be one or two violations.
I think it is interesting, too.
There's got to be.
I mean,
Come
he doesn't have that reputation of a Krzyzewski or Roy Williams.
Yeah.
He always got a better recruiting class than him, though. Always, every time.
Pays the players and stuff. So.
Can't stand him.
Calipari?
He's not a good coach. I really believe that. I really believe he's not that
That's
good of a
big-
coach.
wow.
I think he's a great recruiter. I don't think he's that great of a coach.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because he just gets the best players. So what do you want? What do you expect?
Yeah, but like last year.
Okay. You're gonna
last
tell me
year-
UNC hasn't had their fair share of the wealth?
I'm not saying that. I don't know, something about him. I just don't believe he's as great as a coach as.
So like
people think he is.
last year, you don't think that was him going all the way to the finals? You know what I'm trying to say? Like they had a horrible regular
They
season,
were an 8th seed going into the tournament. An 8th seed.
and then they just caught fire and just went right into the finals. Like
Julius Randle wasn't.
I
a
gotta
big
be.
finals
I gotta
guy.
give credit to Coach Coach
I'm not,
Calipari.
I'm not
for that.
saying like he's not like great. I think he's a little overrated. Honestly.
Can I ask your opinion on Phil Jackson?
I think he's a. You know my opinion on, him, but I think he's good, but I would say he's a little overrated.
Okay, so I mean, at least it's consistent.
Mhm.
At least it's consistent.
Like I mean, obviously like Pop is better. Like I think
I
I think
think
there are a
Thibodeau.
lot better coaches than Phil Jackson has. He just had like 2 of the top 5, 10 best players ever.
And I think that's true. I mean, you guys know I really don't like Phil Jackson. I don't think he's a good coach. I think that he was just handed the best teams every single year, and that's how he was able to get those rings.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about Calipari.
No, but that's why I'm saying you raise a good point. You know what I mean? I think it's a little more of a test on Calipari though, because he doesn't get to keep these players, so he always has new ones. He always has to reintroduce them to the system.
Yeah, but he's still getting the best guys every year.
No, and I don't. But
Yeah, but you're leaving the chemistry. Like the chemistry.
there's
Don't wanna do.
but basketball is a very chemistry-minded sport. It's different when you have Jordan for 7 years, and you have Anthony Davis for 1. And it's different when you have Kobe and Shaq for 5 years, and you have John Wall for 1. There's a large difference.
I don't know because
To me, at least.
Because all right, you have Jordan stuff. There's a lot of good play. It's the NBA. Like you're talking about, Davis. Davis was like, he was the best throughout college. Like at his time when he played, he dominated the game. So
And Jordan didn't.
no, he did. But there was other great players in the league that
Who was the second best shooting guard when Jordan was around?
I don't know.
It's hard for us to know that. Do you know?
There wasn't any.
Dominique Wilkins was a small forward or a 2. But, I mean, Clyde Drexler probably was.
Yeah,
Basketball aficionado.
he's nice.
I think...
Dream team.
I think that is something that, it's tough, though. Because even if you want to take away from Pop, I mean, the best power forward ever, even if he's at the end of his career, it's still the best power forward ever.
Yeah, but the team, like the way
I'm
he
just saying.
made that
No.
team, though,
I don't think
Like,
you
they
could
never-
apply it to him. But
Yeah.
I think, you always need such an amazing player. But I think Phil Jackson to me was just, he had Shaq and Kobe. He had Pippen, Rodman, and Michael Jordan. And
I'm not saying you're wrong, but you can't say he's a bad coach. I mean,
I'm not gonna say he's a bad coach, but there's
Overrated.
plenty coaches I would take before him,
Yeah, I mean,
and that includes collegiate coaches too.
Oh, collegiate coaches are best all time. They're except for Pop. Honestly, is the only one I'd take over a collegiate coach.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to ask you,
I'd say Tom Thibodeau.
would you take Calipari or would you take Phil Jackson?
In what NBA?
Ooh,
Or
Well, I guess
that's tough.
I guess NBA and college. If you had to take, one for college and you had to take one for NBA, would you leave them in their own respective rights, or, I mean, if
Honestly, yeah, I would leave him.
I would. I
Yeah.
guess I would take.
I would leave them where they are.
I would take Coach K.
no,
Calipari.
come on, I agree. I would take Coach K over both of them.
Okay, yeah, that's obvious. But I would have to take just what's his name, Phil Jackson. Honestly,
For both?
You would take him over Calipari?
yeah. I mean, Calipari didn't have a great
You do-
NBA career.
That's-
I have a
but-
coaching career.
I mean, but then again, he didn't have those players. So
Yeah.
you see what Calipari can do when he has those guys. I mean, he's shown it. He wins championships. He makes it there.
He does. I mean, he does.
He was,
but I'm
he was
just
the
saying-
coach of that Derrick Rose team,
I know.
and Derrick Rose didn't have. I don't know. I don't think he had that much around him.
I'm just saying. I just think he's a little overrated. That's all.
Memphis.
I think he's the best recruiter I've ever seen in my life.
I think that's not even a question.
I mean, if there's scandals, then that'll diminish it. But that's.
There
Yeah,
are.
I
there
guess,
are,
yeah.
I think there are, like, from Memphis and stuff.
Well, no, but as far as it's hard though, because you know what, like.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying if there are, that's different.
I think sometimes I don't take that much credit away from these guys about scandals, because I think sometimes you have to do it, because you can't compete with a Duke and a UNC. I mean, listen, I'm sorry, if I play college basketball and Coach K comes knocking at my door, you're gonna have to pull out all the stops to take me away from going to play for him.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Even if
got
Roy Williams did it. Oh, my God.
you got
100%.
Roy Williams at you? Are you kidding me?
But then again, you have Coach Cal on your doorstep?
Well, but now you have Coach Cal. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
He's
yeah,
got
yeah.
himself there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you think about it, of the great college coaches, you think Coach K, Roy Williams, Pitino, Izzo, and now Cal is in that conversation. And I'm talking about as of right now. I think that has to do with what he's done with his recruiting. And in all honesty, if it was because unfortunate situations that where he did have to, move some things around, I don't blame the guy.
If you were him, you would risk that for your reputation? You would violate kind of thing?
I mean, if I have the opportunity to get Anthony Davis, and someone says, "Hey, listen, we could do this here. There's a very, very slim chance that we get caught, but if we don't do it, we're losing Anthony Davis."
I wouldn't do it.
It's you know what, Pete? You could say right now you wouldn't do it, but you know what? All of a sudden you find out your job's on the line.
Would you risk the reputation
My
of cheating to win?
I say no now, but I can't. I'll be honest with you. I don't think anyone can answer that if they're in the moment. That's my personal opinion.
No, yeah, I can see.
Let's move on to the games.
All right. We're gonna take actually the very, very smallest of timeouts, and then I will hop right back into the bottom half of that East.
All right.